Have you ever wondered why NFL teams have the names they do? We've all heard them, cheered for them, and worn their jerseys. But how often do we stop to question the origins of these names that are so deeply ingrained in our sports culture? The intrigue surrounding NFL team names is as complex and diverse as the sport itself. Each name carries with it a unique story, a tale of its creation that reflects the team's history, its city's culture, and the spirit of the sport. These names are more than just words or symbols. They're an essential part of the team's identity, a badge of pride for its players and fans alike. The generation of NFL team names is a fascinating process. It's not a simple task of picking a name out of a hat, nor is it a random selection. Instead, it involves careful thought, deep consideration, and a dash of creativity. The chosen name needs to resonate with the team's audience, embody its ethos, and stand the test of time. It's a blend of marketing, history, and psychology, all wrapped up in one. These names play a crucial role in branding. They're the first thing fans see, the first thing opponents face, and the lasting image that is imprinted in the minds of millions. A team's name can evoke a sense of power, a feeling of camaraderie, or a spark of inspiration. It's more than just a name. It's a symbol, a statement, and a rallying cry. From the fierce Bears to the industrious Packers, from the controversial Redskins to the simple, straightforward football team, the names of NFL teams have evolved over time, reflecting societal changes and shifting sensibilities. They're a mirror into our past, a snapshot of our present, and a hint of what's to come. So if you've ever found yourself wondering about the stories behind these names, you're not alone. It's a question that invites curiosity, encourages exploration, and fosters a deeper appreciation for the sport we all love. Stay with us as we delve into the history and evolution of NFL team names. From their origins to their future, we'll explore the captivating tales that make each team name a story in itself. The journey of NFL team names began in the early 20th century. The inception of these names was often deeply rooted in local industry or culture, a tradition that, in many ways, continues to this day. Take, for instance, the Chicago Bears, a team name that came into existence in the Roaring '20s. The name Bears was chosen as a nod to baseball's Chicago Cubs, who allowed the football team to play in their stadium. The choice of a bear, a powerful and formidable creature, was thought to reflect the strength and grit of the football team, making the name a perfect fit. Similarly, the Green Bay Packers were named in recognition of the local industry. The team was sponsored by the Indian Packing Company, a local meat packing business. The company's generous sponsorship came with one small request: to name the team the Packers. And so the Green Bay Packers were born, a team name that not only highlights the local industry, but also encapsulates the hard-working spirit of the town. These early team names weren't just labels. They were symbols of local pride and identity. They served as reflections of the communities they represented, intertwining the spirit of the sport with the essence of the locale. The Chicago Bears, with their embodiment of strength and power, mirrored the city's resilient spirit. The Green Bay Packers, named after a local industry, exemplified the hardy and industrious nature of the town. These early names weren't just plucked from thin air. They were carefully chosen, each carrying a story, a history, a connection to the place they represented. They set the tone for future team names, creating a tradition of tying a team's identity to the community it represents. And so, these early names, from Bears to Packers, laid a foundation, setting a precedent for the connection between team names and local identity. They showed that a team's name does more than identify a group of players. It tells a story, it carries a legacy, and it represents a community. These early names set a precedent for the connection between team names and local identity. As the years rolled on, NFL team names continued to evolve, reflecting changes in society. One of the most notable shifts in recent years was the transition from the Washington Redskins to the Washington football team. This was not a decision that came lightly or without controversy. The name Redskins was a staple in the NFL for nearly 9 decades. However, as society became more aware of the negative connotations associated with the term, pressure mounted for a change. The name Redskins was deemed offensive to Native Americans, carrying a historical weight of racism and discrimination. Advocacy groups and several tribes petitioned for a name change, sparking a debate that would last for years. The team's owners initially resisted, citing tradition and fan loyalty. But the tides of change were relentless. In the summer of 2020, amid a global movement for racial equality, the Washington Redskins announced they were retiring their team name and logo. The decision was a landmark moment, signaling a shift in the NFL's approach to inclusivity and cultural sensitivity. In the interim, the team was dubbed the Washington Football Team, a placeholder until a new moniker could be decided upon. This temporary name was met with mixed reactions. Some found it unimaginative, while others praised its simplicity and focus on the sport itself. This evolution is indicative of a broader trend in professional sports. Teams are increasingly recognizing their role in shaping societal attitudes and are striving to promote inclusivity and respect. The shift from Redskins to football team is more than a mere rebranding. It represents a step toward acknowledging past wrongs and making amends. The change also serves as a reminder that NFL team names are not just about identity and branding. They carry a cultural and societal significance. They can perpetuate stereotypes, or they can challenge them. They can divide, or they can unite. These changes show how NFL team names are more than just labels. They are reflections of the times. As we look to the future, what can we expect from NFL team names? A question as tantalizing as the sport itself, isn't it? As we journey into the uncharted territories of the future, we can expect a few trends to surface in the naming conventions of NFL teams. The first one, and perhaps the most important, is the continuous growth towards more inclusive and culturally sensitive names. As we've seen, the NFL has made strides to acknowledge and rectify past mistakes in this area. The transition from the Redskins to the Washington Football Team is a prime example of this. It's a signal of a more inclusive, respectful future, where team names consider the cultural implications and aim to unite, rather than divide. Another trend we might see is the use of names that reflect the zeitgeist of the times. As society evolves, so do our values, interests, and concerns. Future team names might mirror these changes, perhaps focusing on environmental conservation, technological advancements, or social justice themes. But let's not forget about the crucial role team names play in creating a sense of identity and community. A team's name is more than just a label. It's a rallying cry for fans, a symbol of shared passion and pride. It's the banner under which memories are made, victories celebrated, and defeats mourned. It's the embodiment of a community spirit and the heartbeat of its support. So, as we peer into the crystal ball of the future, we can anticipate names that are representative of the times we live in, but also deeply rooted in the essence of the communities they represent. There'll be names that resonate with fans, that incite passion and loyalty, that make a statement. Names that are not just words, but symbols of unity, respect, and love for the game. Whatever the future holds, one thing is clear: NFL team names will continue to be a major part of the game's identity. And as fans, we'll be there cheering on our teams, no matter what they're called. Because in the end, it's not just about the name, it's about the game. So, what have we learned about the generation of NFL team names? We dove into the captivating intrigue of NFL team names and discovered that each moniker carries a rich history and a unique narrative. From the early days where names like Bears and Packers emerged, these titles were more than just labels. They were reflections of the local industries and the hardworking communities that rallied around their teams. In the Roaring '20s, the Chicago Bears were named to embody the strength and resilience of the city. The Green Bay Packers, on the other hand, were a nod to the meatpacking industry that was the lifeblood of Green Bay. These names were not just chosen at random, they were carefully selected to resonate with the local populace and to reflect the spirit of their cities. As we moved forward through the timeline, the evolution of team names continued to mirror societal changes. The transformation of Redskins to football team was a significant milestone in this journey. It was a move that highlighted the increasing awareness and sensitivity towards racial and cultural representations in sports. The shift underscored the fact that team names are not static. They evolve, adapt, and grow, just like the society we live in. We also pondered on the future of NFL team names, asking the question, what's in a name? A lot, as it turns out. Today, team names are more than just identifiers. They are powerful symbols that encapsulate the essence of a city, its people, its history, and its passion for the game. They are a rallying cry for fans, a source of pride for players, and a testament to the enduring spirit of the communities they represent. So, as we wrap up this journey through the generation of NFL team names, let's take a moment to appreciate the depth and the stories that these names carry with them. Each one holds a piece of history, a dash of culture, and a whole lot of heart. Remember, behind every NFL team name is a story of a place, a people, and a passion for the game.